My name is Francesco Tonin and I work at Bloomberg. Tonight I'm going to give you a very quick introduction to Maxwell's demon, which is a very important topic in statistical mechanics and a subject of debate still to this day. Before though, we shall talk about a different demon, Shannon's demon. In the 60s, Claude Shannon was a professor at MIT and gave a series of lectures on quantitative finance to which even Paul Samuelson attended. In one of his lectures, he described a strategy called the demon, where you rebalance to 50% the risky asset and 50% cash after each cycle. Well, does this work? If the drift is zero, then the expected growth is greater, indeed, than the mean of the risky asset and the cash, with a lower variance. Now, today, this is known as volatility pumping and more or less similar to the idea of replicating a short straddle position, which works pretty well with mean reversion, high volatility, but trending hurts it. So now from this demon, we move on to Maxwell's demon. This was a thought experiment created in 1871 by Maxwell. If you start with the picture on the left, you have a chamber with a gas in equilibrium. A partition is inserted in the middle with a little trapdoor. And a demon is watching all these gas particles. When a fast particle approaches from the left, the demon opens the door and lets it go to the right-hand side. Vice versa, when a slow particle approaches from the right, the demon again opens the door and lets it go to the left. At the end, you're left with faster particles to the right, slower particles to the left. So you created a temperature imbalance, which can be harnessed to create mechanical work, after which the system returns to the initial state. Why is this interesting? Well, you have basically created mechanical work out of nothing. In the meanwhile, during the process, you have reduced the entropy of the system, thus violating the second law of thermodynamics. So something must be wrong in this thought experiment. And people have tried for more than 100 years now to figure out what was wrong. One of the first attempts to exorcise the demon was to concentrate on the measurements. So Leo Szilard in 1929, and he is the person on the right here in the photo, he said the measurement will necessarily dissipate heat into the environment. One example could be to use a lamp to illuminate the particles. The lamp would radiate heat. This turned out to be not necessarily the case. So you could build the system in a better way that does not dissipate as much. Another attempt was invoking quantum mechanics. Now, after in 1930s, quantum mechanics was developed, Heisenberg's uncertainty principle was invoked to claim that the demon cannot measure speed and position of each particle with sufficient precision in order to effect his demonic scheme. Actually, again, this turned out to be not the case, or at least the majority of physicists believe today that's not the case, therefore leaving, again, the mystery of what could exercise the demon. The received theory as of today is the one proposed by Landauer in the 60s. And Landauer uses information theory for his explanation of that demon. And information theory, to close the circle, was invented by Claude Shannon. Basically, Landauer says the problem is not the measuring of the acquiring of information. The problem is getting rid of information. In fact, if you need to revert to the original state of the system, the memory of the demon needs to be erased. And Landauer proved that there is a minimum energy level that needs to be expended to erase one bit of information. And this level is the Boltzmann constant times the temperature times the logarithm of 2. And this increase in entropy that is expended counterbalances the decrease in entropy created by the demand. This has been a very, very quick crash course on the Maxwell's demon. Thank you for your time.